Okay, so before we talk about ZBLL at all, I have some bad news for if you're watching this video. You should definitely learn COLL first, which is the complete orientation, or the corner orientation of the, I don't know exactly what it stands for, but it's when you're solving, it's when you're orienting the last layer doing OLL, but you also permute all the corners correctly, so you place all the corners as you do it. You should recognize all those, you should know how to recognize all those cases. You don't necessarily need to know algorithms for them, but you need to know like how to recognize them very well, because that will make ZBLL, sane for you. Like, you'll actually be able to like reasonably learn some algorithms. Otherwise, it's going to be a nightmare trying to learn it. So learn that first, or you could learn CLL on 2x2 because it's basically the same thing. So if I know COLL or CLL on a 2x2, I can be like, oh, I can recognize this case. It's going to be the same kind of OLL recognition for ZBLL, so you'll be able to do that. But you definitely want to know how to recognize all the CLL cases on 2x2 or all the COLL cases on 3x3. Otherwise, learning ZBLL will straight up make you want to pull your hair out. I'm promising you, you want to learn one of those two things first. If you still want to proceed with this tutorial and you don't know those things, I'm going to try to explain things as best I can, so that way you can still try to learn some, how to recognize some ZBLL algorithms and cases. Yeah, so these are the different OLL cases, or different OLL stages that you're going to need to know for ZBLL. Basically, you should know how to recognize these different cases in order to learn ZBLL. Alright, so this is the BOCO website. It's the Polish algorithm database. Basically, you can go to this website, and this is where I learn all of my ZBLL algorithms and where I'm going to be teaching you from. So go to this website, and you can follow along. I'm going to show you some stuff on this website. The link will be in the description. Yeah, this is a great resource for not only ZBLL, but a lot of cubing things. Okay, so from this menu, you click on 3x3, and then you go to ZB, and then you click ZBLL, and then you have the OLL cases. What I'm going to be doing in this tutorial is walking you through the U orientation with no permutation. I'll explain what that means as I'm, going through the algorithms and the explanation, but if you click on those, then you'll be able to follow along with me, and I'll teach you how you can learn how to, find and identify ZBLL algorithms. Okay, so if you're going to follow along with me as I explain, you should be on this page, and I'll be doing the algorithms in order from left to right, top to bottom, or top to bottom, left to right, but you know what I mean, in that order. So follow along if you'd like. Okay, so you should be on this page, and basically this is the page with the algorithms. A few things to notice are, under the image it says category, and it has TH, OH, and FM. They're broken down into three categories. TH is two-handed, OH is some algorithms that might be favorable to one-handed, and FM is fewest moves. They're organized from from fewest moves to more moves in that order. So whichever one you're looking for specifically, you can do that. Also underneath, if you register on this website, you have the option of clicking My Alg under an algorithm that you like, that you prefer to use, and that way it's saved, so you don't have to go, like if you forget it, you don't have to go back through the algorithms and sift through it for a really long amount of time to try to find the same algorithm. It'll just have a little logo, and you'll know that's your algorithm. Also, you can see who it's added by, and if you see the second algorithm was added by Michael Pleskowicz. So if you want to know some of the algorithms he uses, because he does know a lot of ZBLL algorithms, he posts a lot of the algorithms he uses on this website. I posted an algorithm on this website in one of the U cases. A lot of cubers share their algorithms on this webpage, so it's really useful for that respect. Alright, before I jump into any of the specific algorithms I use or anything like that, I'm just going to go over how to interpret some of the diagrams and how to find your own algorithms on the Polish algorithm database. So what you're going to want to do when you're finding algorithms on the site, there's going to be the diagram that shows you the arrows of like where things are going and things like that, and you can recognize the algorithm and do it over and over again. And when you're learning the algorithm, you can be like, yes, this is it, do the algorithm, then set it up again and be like, yes, this is the case, this is the one I'm learning. But when you are trying to learn several algorithms at once, and I wouldn't recommend trying to learn more than like 4, maybe 6, something like that, ZBL algorithms at a time, it can be hard to recognize them once you're doing 3x3 solves, and then you come up on a case that you should know, and you're like, wait, which algorithm is this? So I'm going to tell you how to help recognize those cases. So the first way you're going to want to think about it is first recognize what the COLL case is. And if you already know COLL, then this is going to be really easy for you. But if you're kind of new to this, then you're going to want to think of it like this. Okay, so as you're learning the algorithms, it'll show you a diagram of like where the corners are going to be permuted, and where the edges are going to be permuted. So if this corner is not moving at all and it's solved, then you can judge all the edges based off of that. So I know for this case, these two corners are going to be swapped. So I know that this corner is solved because it's not being moved. So this edge in relation to this corner is correct. So I know this edge isn't going anywhere. I also know that these two are like incorrect. So I know these two have to be swapped. So this red sticker is going to be over here. But so I can tell that since the red sticker is going to be over here, this is correct. Or I can say, since this blue edge is correct, this red one is also correct, because red is to the right of blue on my color scheme. So I would say, I know these two corners are going to be swapped. These two edges are not being swapped. And these two corners are not being swapped. So I know these two edges are being swapped, so these two have to be swapped. So I can recognize the case that way. Or the way that I think most people should be learning ZBLL cases is not like a strictly, this is an R-perm with this orientation or anything like that, like a crazy person. Recognize it by patterns. So for this one, it's an R-perm here, but with these edges being oriented. So, but I recognize it as, there's this block in front, like, it's a UOLL case, first you have to recognize that, then it's an R case, which is the right corners being permuted. And then I look at the pattern. So there's this block here, and then there's this block here. So I know it's going to be this algorithm. So that's how I would recognize it. But, you know, in order to like recognize the patterns, first you're going to have to recognize what kind of OLL case it is, U, T, pi, something of, you know, one of those. And then you're going to have to recognize what the corners are doing, you know, where, which corners are going to be swapped in that kind of, you know, OLL case. Okay, so for the U orientation in ZBL, there are a total of 6 different cases, like 6 different, you know, placements for the, or 6 different corner cases. So you just recognize those, and then there are, I believe, 12 edge cases in each of those corner cases. So for this corner case, this is under the R, like if you click the permutation part, where the permutations slide out on the ZBLL navigation bar, this will be the point or the dot R permutation. What this means is that the right corners are being swapped. So if you think about it this way, imagine these two aren't unoriented. So if you orient these two corners, or this corner, the ones on the left will be solved. It's the ones on the right that need to be swapped. And I recognize this, these two colors are the same, these two are opposites. So what this means is for all of the edge swapping ZBLL cases in this, for all of them in this category, these two corners are going to be the ones being swapped. So you're going to want to remember that. It'll help you, you know, more easily identify cases if you always know these two corners are being swapped. Now all I need to do is worry about how the edges are going to be swapped. And likewise for this case, these two, or these are the two, for the next case in the UOLLs, the left corners are going to be swapped. This is in the dot L permutations. So the left ones are going to be swapped. You can think of it, if this one wasn't unoriented, or oriented incorrectly, then it would be solved. So these two need to be swapped. So you can recognize all your cases like that. I recognize that these two are the same color, these two are opposites. Okay, the next one on the list is the B permutation, so it's the dot B, and it's when these two back corners need to be swapped. So if these two, if you just imagine they weren't oriented incorrectly, it would just be a T-perm. So these two corners would be oriented incorrectly, or these two corners would be swapped, and any, you know, possible combination of edges being swapped is in this category. I recognize that these two are the same colors, these two are the same colors. Very easy. Okay, the next case in the UOLLs for ZBLL is the F-perm, so it's in the dot F category. It's when these two corners are the ones that are going to be swapped. So these two are going to be staying still. This one is kind of hard to recognize at first. I would recommend learning this case in the U set last. That's the way I did it, and it worked out really well for me. After a while, you know, it's really easy to recognize them. And you just recognize that these two are the same color, these two are the same color, or these two are opposites, and these two are opposites. It's pretty simple. Plus, a lot of the algorithms in this are really easy. There's stuff like that. Okay, so the next OLL case, or the next ZBLL set in the OLL, or in the U OLL case, is going to be the S OLL case. I'm not sure what the S stands for. It's not like a side, but I imagine it stands for slant or slash, or maybe a Polish word that may start with the letter S. But it's when these two corners are swapped diagonally. So imagine these two stay still, or they don't, they're not permuted. It's just these two are oriented and these two corners swap with any possible combination of edges moving. I think this is the easiest U ZBLL case. It's really easy to learn. A lot of the algorithms are really short, really fun, really fast. Yeah, so it's when these two colors are the same and these two are opposites. That's how I remember it. And like a lot of the algorithms are that short, about that length. Okay, and the final ZBLL set in the U OLLs is no permutation. It's the corners don't move at all. It's just an orientation. The edges move. This is really easy to learn because there's no corner permutation. It's just 8 different kinds of three cycles, be it 3 cycle front, both directions, 3 cycle left, both directions, 3 cycle back, both, and on the right, both directions. That's 8. 2 Z-perms, an H-perm, and the case with only the corners needing to be oriented. This is, I think, the easiest to recognize these algorithms. Also, I'd say this is the second easiest case to learn. A lot of the algorithms are mostly just soon followed by anti-soon, or 2 soons in a row or 2 anti-soons. Also very easy algorithms, very fast. This is probably one of the friendliest, like, one-handed sets for if you want to do ZBLL one-handed. Okay, so the first algorithm that you're going to be learning, or the first case in the U OLL case with no permutations of the corners. So these 2 corners are solved, and these 2 are also in the correct place. They're just not oriented. And there's going to be a solid bar, like this bar is solved. All 3 pieces are solved. They're fine. You don't have to worry about them. So then you just have to look to the other pieces. And since you know for this OLL case that there are no, or for this C OLL case that you don't have to move any of the corners, if this edge is solved, and then 3 other edges have to be moved. So it's a 3 cycle. You just have to identify which way the cycle is going. So the way I do this is I see whatever color the bar is, and it's blue. If the opposite color is on the left or right side, that determines which algorithm I do. So since it's on the left side, I would do this. My algorithm for this is a soon, but I'm just doing it from the opposite side of the cube, then a U, and then an anti-soon, just from the opposite side of the cube, and then AUF. Okay, the second case for the U OLL case with no permutation of the corners is going to be the same thing. A solid bar here, just from this case that there are no permutations of the corners. So if this edge is solved in relation to the corners, then the other edges, like this one's not solved, this one's not solved. It's a 3 cycle. You don't have to look to the other side of the cube. So it's just a matter of which way the cycle goes. Like with the first algorithm, you look at this color. If the opposite color is on the left or right, that determines which algorithm you do. Which way you cycle it. Since this time the opposite color is on the right, we're going to be doing this. A soon, but just from the opposite side of the cube, then a U prime, and then we're going to do an anti-soon. And that's how I remember that algorithm. Okay, this next case is going to be when there's no permutation of the corners. It's a U OLL case, and this one is solved. Like this edge is solved. So it's a 3 cycle. You just have to find out which way the cycle goes. So if the cycle, I recognize it, I hold it like this. It kind of looks like an R-perm the way there's this block and this piece. If it's cycling away from this, if this piece has to go here, and if it's moving, these pieces are moving towards the opposite side of the cube, then I hold it so the headlights are on the side and the 3 cycles in front, and you do R, you do an anti-soon, then you do a U prime, and then you just do a soon. Okay. Alright, this one is the opposite case of the one before, or similar case, the 3 cycle just goes the opposite way. This time, I'm looking at, it kind of looks like an R-perm, but this piece has to go here instead. So instead of moving towards the opposite side of the cube, like these two pieces, they're not going like this. These ones are moving back. Like this one has to be shot to the other side of the cube. So since I know this one has to be shot to the other side of the cube, I'm going to hold it the opposite way. So that way the 3 cycle is in back. And then I do L, U2, L2, F prime, L, F, L, U, Y prime, I think. I'm not good at rotation notation. L prime, U, L, F. That's how I recognize it. Alright, so these next 2 algorithms are just going to be mirrors of the other cases. You're just going to do them on the opposite side of the cube. Instead of the 3 cycle being on this side, they're going to be on this side. So we look at this piece first, or I would, and then I see, okay, orange with yellow on top has to go to the left of blue. So for my algorithm, I would hold it so the headlights are on the side, and I would do an anti-soon, like a lefty anti-soon, and then U, and then you just do a soon, finish it off. Then AUF. And this algorithm is the same as the other one, it's just 3 cycle in different direction. Okay, so I recognize, so I know for this case there's no corner permutation, and this piece is solved, so the 3 cycles on the left side. This green piece has to be shot to the back. I know that because these are opposite colors. So I know this one has to go to the back, so the 3 cycle works this way. So I would hold it, so this is on the right, and the 3 cycles in back, and I do R, U2, R2, F, R, F prime, R, Y rotation, U prime, and that's how I memorize it. Okay, so for these next few algorithms, it's going to be a 3 cycle in the front. And you can tell because it's a U case, and there's no corner permutation. These two, same color, these two are opposite. So you look where this edge has to go, it's orange. Orange has to go to the left, and then this piece has to go to the opposite side. So you know and then you can reason this one has to go here. So what my algorithm is, I hold it so the U is in the back, or the headlights are in the back, and I do L, U, L prime, U2, B2, R prime, U, R, U prime, R prime, U prime, R, B2, B2. And this algorithm is the same as the other algorithm, just the 3 cycle works in the opposite direction. So UOLL with no corner permutation. So you look, this has to go to the right, and then this one has to go to the opposite side. So you know it's a 3 cycle. So the way this works, my algorithm is R prime, U prime, R, U2, B2, L, U prime, L prime, U, L prime, L, U, L prime, B2, U2. That's how I recognize it. Okay, these next 2 algorithms are very fun for one-handed. They are very quick ways to get, they're just very good to get in solves. So they're going to be Z-perms. You can tell because, okay, U case, no corner permutation. This one has to go here, and then this one has to go right back. So you know these 2 are swapped, and you can't just swap 2 edges, so you know these 2 also have to be swapped. So what you do, you hold it so this is in back, and from whichever side this piece has to go, you just do a soon from that direction, and then you just do a soon from this direction. Boom, 2 soons, that's it. Awesome, right? This is the other direction for the Z-perm, so if this has to go here and this has to go here, if you notice a Z-perm with these edges being swapped, you just do it from the left side. So left, here, I'll do this one-handed to give you an example. I do one-handed with my right. So it would be that soon, and then this soon. So in a solve, once you got it, it would be as easy as, and that's better than doing the OLL algorithm and then the PLL algorithm. Okay, this ZBLL algorithm is wonderful to get in solves because it's so fast. It's actually ridiculous. You can sub-1 this algorithm. It's an H-perm. It's an H-perm with these 2 corners being oriented. So you can tell because this has to go to the back, and the ones on the side are, they have to be flipped also. So once you see this, you want to do a U2. You want headlights in the front for this, and this is essentially an A-perm. You just do like 2 or 3 different moves. So you do R2, D, well, the way I finger trick an A-perm, you hold it like this. So headlights are in the front, then you rotate up. R2, D2, R, U, R prime, D2. But instead of doing this to finish like an A-perm, you do R2. So it would look like this. During a solve, it would be this fast. Like let's say you sledgehammer this piece in, and then you're like, oh, this is that really easy ZBLL case. It's as easy as boom, done. Okay, so this is the easiest one. Well, one of the easiest cases to identify. The cube is going to be solved, except for 2 corners being flipped. So you can use your own corner flipping algorithm for this, or you could use mine, or there are so many on the Polish algorithm database. If I'm holding the cube this way, I'll do assume lefty, and then I'll do assume righty. Wait, no, whoops. Okay, no. For U1, you do anti-soon, and then lefty anti-soon. Or, if you want, you can do, if you're holding it from this side of the cube, another one that I do, if I'm holding it from this side of the cube, this is how I'll do it. I do double sexy move, L prime, double backward sexy move, L. It's really fast. So it would be this fast. It would be like double sexy move up, double sexy move backwards, down. And that's it. Those are all the cases for UOLLs with no permutations. I walked you through the algorithms I use and how I recognize them during solves. Anyway, guys, that's the end of the video. If there was anything you missed in the video or anything you didn't really think was explained that well, you can ask a question in the comments, maybe post a video response. I'll either answer it in the comments or I'll make an additional video to, maybe cover something better that I didn't cover that well in this video. Thanks for watching, guys.